Hello Taurus, welcome back to my channel, The Vibes Inside. I am Mariana and I am preparing here to do your reading, Taurus. Well, today it's just, if you've seen the full moon reading I did, and maybe the Aries reading, I've noticed this glare that has come, and I saw it on my Buddha. I put it over here in one of the other readings, and now it's like it's on this angel here. And I've made so many other videos, and I normally have my candle there. I've never really noticed that there's some kind of glare that is reflected or something that I can now see in like some of my figures here that are, or my small angel, my small Buddha, and I don't know why, but it came across with the Buddha, it came across as a big third eye opening, but now it's on my transparent glass angel here, right? So let's have a look at that. But that could be something like, again, third eye. I hear contact, third eye contact. A transparent angel. A spirit, perhaps. Transparent angel. In the Aries reading, I talked about something distinct and something extinct. So something particular, but also perhaps not here anymore. Distinct, right? But distinct is, or extinct is, only something that makes sense if you have a linear time thinking. So if we talk about a linear time understanding, there's a current, there's a past, and there's a future. And something that may have been extinct in the past stays there. Like we have no access to it, like we can only see the remains of something. Or if we know that it's a particular species, maybe that species has developed into something else. So we have in the current and going forward towards the future, we don't have the dinosaurs, but we may have like a family line of a dinosaur. Right, today, many of the birds today are descendants, you could say, of former flyers, perhaps flyer dinosaurs. Right? So it's like, it may be in the Aries reading we talked about something particular, a very particular, perhaps non-present or non-available energy. Taurus, you are earthy, so I'm wondering, because normally when I start a new round of readings, and Aries is always the first one, I get an indicator of what this round of readings is going to be about. So let's have a look. There could be something about something that may have been absent or something like that. We know that there are many species right now that are actually facing extermination, right? There's only like few left of them. And it means like the success rate of breeding and like having more of them is becoming less and less apparent. The likelihood of certain tiger survivals, certain tigers are facing elimination or extinction. We can only maintain them perhaps in zoos, so controlled breeding. The natural habitat for certain species are changing, so they will not survive. We know that. Only in controlled environments. So like in a zoo, we can make fertility treatment on the animals and therefore keep a tiger present and alive, but there will only be very few of them. So here I feel like I'm talking about I don't know. I've had this feeling a long time ago that it's like there's this storm coming in some way, and however that is going to play out can be something like it's almost like it's highly unlikely that certain species on Earth are going to survive if we believe in the third dimensional and fifth dimensional shift of Earth. Like in New Age communities and astrology communities, there's this talk about the great shift between the third dimensional energy and fifth dimensional energy. Fifth dimensional energy is more loving. It spins faster, time is faster, life is faster. It holds a more love vibrational energy, where the third dimensional energy holds a more lack mentality and more pain related, lower vibrational energy. There's more suffering in the third dimensional energy. So why am I feel like I'm saying something like that it's normal that because of a certain shift that some energies are not going to survive because they simply cannot. It's a bit like when we look at, if we take the human's lifespan, you have a childhood, and then you become a teenager, and you become an adult. When you are in the adult state, you cannot necessarily also still be a child. There can be parts of you, where you have maybe you still like doing some of the things you did when you were a child, but you yourself has grown and changed into something else. You have other responsibilities. You may not live at home anymore. You have your own work. You may even have your own family now, children perhaps. So the life you had when you were a child is not the same as you have now. Simply because you have grown, you have changed in some way. Every time there is a change, something cannot maintain standstill and change at the same time. So every time someone is going through change, there cannot be stagnation and change at the same time. So when there inevitably is change, and there is this saying that it's Earth that is changing, like the planet we live on has its own, you could say, vibration. It has its own life, you could say, and it's changing from one state to another. And because we live here, because everything we are dependent on here, our life here, is vibing with her, you could say, we will inevitably feel a change or an invitation to somehow change with her, because she's not asking, she's doing this. Every time there's a change, something will die and something will prevail, or something will even thrive, perhaps. Something that may have thrived before is going to starve, perhaps, and something that has been starving before may now be thriving more. Does that make sense? Like and Earth in its entirety, all the billion years it has been around, if we believe in the physics calculations, it has gone through many changes. Like there has been ice ages, and there has been meteor destructions and dust clouds, and it's not the first time. Like it's not the first time that it's changing something. We are just currently the people or species, the children here, that are maybe feeling it. Like we can feel that something is changing. I guess that, maybe the mammoth elephants, when the ice age was coming and they were frozen into some of this ice, I guess they could have felt it too, like that something was coming, that something was, coming on its way. But again, what should the mammoth do about it? Like it cannot just fly away, right? So if we are species here on Earth, Earthlings, we live here, we are dependent on what she is providing for us, Mother Earth, Gaia. So if Mother changes her mind and she goes in a new direction, we can either go with her or we can run away, right? We can either go with her or we can want to protest. I just feel like if you are experiencing a spiritual awakening and you found my channel in some way, maybe that's a question for you, right? Are you willing to go along with Mother's new choice, or are you going to protest it? She's going there anyway. So it's not a choice, like she's not giving us a choice. And because of that, it's going to challenge how we think. It's going to challenge everything we know about Earth and our life. At least that has been my own spiritual awakening journey, that you get to like totally catapult everything around. Every puzzle piece of you is thrown in the air, and you're now going to like put your puzzle piece together in a different way. I'm sorry, there is some noise in the building. So if you can hear that, I'm sorry about that. So what am I saying? It's like and the energy that is here right now is very slow. Like it's very slow, almost not moving. Like it's a very slow, low tune I get. Slow, low tune. I know there is something about that Gaia has its own tune. Like she has her own vibrational sound, you could say. There could be something about that, like something about a slow, low tune that you can tap into, I feel like, Taurus. It has a calming tune to it. Like there is a sense of calmness about it. It's almost like it's a kind of faith. It's like I said there was a sense of like an invitation to come along. And then I have this feeling like, have faith in me, right? Just come along, have faith in me. Like being guided, right? And then there's this sense of calm, like it's not like this invitation to come along is not a war declaration. Like it's a peace declaration. It's not a war declaration. So I don't know exactly how this, but it's very slow, very calm. Low, again, it's, well, it could have a low tune, like a lower tune to it, as opposed to a pitchy one, right? So a lower tune to it. But also I feel like a tune that is not loud, like it's not this like loudspeaker bass in your face kind of. It's a calmer, lower, and again I feel like because the earth is filled with noise. Like there's so much that is very noisy here. As I just mentioned, some drilling in the building here, right? And I could hear this buzzing. There's so much that can easily distract us from a different, calm, lower, maybe quieter tune. But that tune is maybe the sound that you could choose to follow. You could choose to have faith in it, as opposed to the other one that is louder, it's in your face, it's music, it's iron drilling, it is loud, it's There is a calm calling, and there's a loud calling, perhaps here. There's a peaceful calling, and there is a drama calling, or tumultuous calling, or sound or vibration that you can tune into depending on what it is that you want in your life. And I think it has to do with this shift, like this idea of a shift. That in the third dimensional energy, it's very loud, it's tumultuous, there's a lot of drama, there's a lot of pain, there's a lot of conflict. In the other one, it's way more peaceful, way more calmer. But tuning into that energy is like it's a choice, I feel like, because this other voice is way more persistent. It's way more like we don't have to look far to find noise. Where the other one is more calm and peaceful. You could even say that one is more masculine and one is more feminine. And for Taurus, ruled by Venus, definitely a feminine energy, that maybe you could tune into this energy and it will give you a sense of calm or relief or something like that. Okay, let's have a look at the cards here. Okay, so in the middle here, and this is always an important card, I have completion card. There's something you've done. You've managed to do something here. Something you have completed, a cycle. When we look at the snake here, when we look at the colors that are here, it's like it represents all the chakras, you could say, in the body. The colors are like red, orange, yellow, green, blue. Blue is a bit we can't see it much here, but it's there. It turns into purple and then back to red here. The blue is there, but it seems like there's a bit of cloud over it. So I feel like something could have been completed, but maybe you haven't talked about it. The blue element is about communication, throat chakra, third eye chakra. And again, I have this feeling of like a connection. This can seem a bit like a portal also, right? Completion is like the world card in tarot. It's the last one. So it's like you have gone the hero's journey, you have completed something, and then it's like from this step forward you become the fool again, but now you have new wisdom. And that's what I feel like when I talked about this, like the child and the adult. It's like every time we move forward in life and we learn something new, the experience of a previous state is not the same. Like when you add knowledge or experience to what you already know, like going backwards and, well, you say, for a small child that for the first time gets into the family garden. The garden is this totally new paradise, right? Where there's so much to explore. But when you are 5 years old, like you have explored this garden, like you know every angle of it. You know everything that's in there. You can talk about it now. Now you know the name of what is there, like the grass, the flowers, the bushes, the trees. You know that you can grow carrots or whatever. You can play in here. You have played football here, whatever you've done. So going into the garden is not the same experience as when you were 1 year old or 6 months. It's like going backwards is going backwards to look for something only makes sense if you've had a childhood or if you have had no childhood. In the sense that, like, you were never your own explorer. You were dictated from a very young age to work. So skipping the adult playing phase, you could say. So from a very young age you had chores. You were skipping this, you could say the freer state perhaps of childhood before we start school and so on. It only makes sense to go back to explore that if you didn't have it, I would say. Like if you didn't have it, then it could make sense to try to revisit what that would have been like for you if you've had that time. If you've had this time, it doesn't make sense to like wanna go back there, because what you know now has changed you from, you are no longer the 5-year-old in the garden, right? You are now 20 years old or whatever, and you have other life experiences. Going back is, well, there could be something found here, of course. Maybe you remember something. You get in touch with something here that could be of importance. But otherwise, usually there's like only one way forward, you could say. Going backwards is kind of against the stream, you could say. In quantum physics, time is not necessarily linear. Time is like a circular experience where what is known as the past, the current, and the future is simultaneously playing out with each other. This is confusing to the human brain, but if we go along with it, it means that the past is not necessarily over, it's still here. The current is here, and the future is also here. So you could say that everything is intertwined with each other and playing out simultaneously. If that is the fact, it may not only be the past of your current life, it could be the past of Earth life also. So what may have happened when Earth was actually becoming Earth from the so-called Big Bang experience and all this, that experience is still here, as well as future experiences are here simultaneously, still playing out, not only your life current life, but billions of years still present, playing out at the same time. Again, this is very confusing to grasp, right? But I feel like there's something to this that I have to somehow stress with the readings that are coming now. That there is something about something. Aries, it was distinct and extinct. So something that seems like it's particular and not here anymore. But with the quantum physics understanding, it is here. What we know about energy is that it cannot die, it can change. So if a person dies, they are not necessarily, the life force energy is not necessarily dead, as in non-force or death force or something. It is still interacting in the current energy. It's just different. As I said with these ancestors and like ancestral, let's say, dinosaur energy is maybe not currently present, but there could be family line, right? There could be some kind of bloodline transfer that is currently here. So what you have here now is, it has fragments or it has parts of something old, or in linear fashion something old, but it's still here. Like it's currently here because it has been inherited. When species breed with each other, there are DNA inheritance that is still here. It may not be exactly the same form, but it's partly some of it. As I said, we know there are elephants here, but they are not mammoths. But elephants are still family related with mammoths. Sharks and dragonflies, I know, are some of the species that are almost the same. Like almost the same as they were what we call in ancient times. Like the DNA is almost the same. Very little change. And then we have, just what we know about the like Homo sapiens. Like our species has also gone through a lot of changes. We would not be the same as the Neanderthal human. Like we are different than them, but there's still something about them that is still in us. There's something about a DNA line, something about something ancient is still here. That even though that species may not live anymore, there are still descendants or still still some kind of descendants or descendant energy or DNA present here. Energy cannot die, but it can change. It can change into something else. We know with the ice ages that some particular energy that was maybe billions of years ago is maybe not quite here yet, but life still prevailed, right? Many of the very, very big creatures during the dinosaur time got extinct, but life still prevailed, but they were smaller. Some of the old ones, the big ones, have not prevailed. Like, we haven't seen creatures that big here. But it doesn't mean that the DNA for it isn't present. It's just how it get mixed that is the reason for us not seeing it here. I don't know why I'm saying this. So either I'm talking about, someone getting in touch with distant family, perhaps. Or completion is like a fulfillment. It's like a wholeness of some kind. And someone has gone through a lot of hostilities here to get to this. It feels a bit like, I see it almost a bit like an aura, right? That some kind of like a protective shield or something. Completion could be something like a wound that seemed finally healed, or a process that seemed finally over, a completion of an exam, or it could be that, as I said, the third dimensional energy is filled with this, like it's filled with this kind of understanding, lack mentality, fighting, suffering, wars. It has a lot of, like in the third dimensional energy, the masculine energy is favored. It's necessary. If we don't have masculine energy, we die, right? It's the masculine energy is the fighter, the warrior, the one that never gives up, the one that is strong and fierce and protects and builds and everything. If we can't have this, like if we don't have some of these skills, we are done, right? We are done here on earth. We can't survive. But being here, it comes with a lot of strife, right? It's again hostility. It's more of a fighting, competitive, masculine world. It's like the rules and regulations all are built on some kind of masculine principles. And they are not bad, right? But it just feels like completion feels to me like someone could be done with or like again an aura or some kind of protective field that is just saying no, like I'm because the messenger of fire here for me, like in the crown position, this can tell me something like almost like the sun, right? The sun is a messenger of fire. It comes in with a lot of like burst, you could say. But is in the crown position, and it tells me something like that this could be something that's on your mind, like you are thinking about something here. You're thinking about whether you should be a messenger of fire. Down here in the root position, this is the root position tells me something about like what earth have experienced, or what your body has experienced in this lifetime, right? That it comes from painful maybe, or experiences where it has been hostile, right? It has been difficult to have good solid roots, support maybe, and support. He stands here like he has his sword, but otherwise he's kind of stripped to like the naked skin. He's could have been fighting off a lot of I hear unwanted attention, but also I feel like and the reason I get this aura, it's like, if something wants to invade you, you would like to have these solid castle walls around you, right? That kind of keep you intact and protect you. But if you don't have them, like any enemy could just like try to attack you in some way. So needing these, like walls to kind of protect you. Again, if you look at this with these markers here, it tells me a bit like a compass, or something like having an awareness about north forces and south and east and west forces, or attacks, or directions, right? That there are many different directions to look for, or to be aware about this. Like it could come in from any direction, right? And just being done with some kind of fighting, I feel like. Completion can also talk about, well, someone could die. Like they have been fighting always, but now they are saying no, or I'm done, or I'm complete with my life cycle, so I'm not here anymore, right? And actually that's what I feel like here. I talked about this split between the fifth and the third dimension, and this I feel like, well, I feel like it's more like a, because the messenger of fire here, as I said, it can be the messenger. Fire energy can be anything from funny and joyous and vigorating and vital and healthy and having a good time, to being frustrated, bitter, hateful, regretful, angry, aggressive energy here. Sometimes I refer to her as Lucia, because of that crown she's wearing. Today, I'm looking very much at her hands, like, like if they're kind of folded like this, because when it's folded, it has this protective vibe to it. Like when people do this in front of them, it's like they're holding kind of a protection from something that is in front of them that could be attacking them. But I also feel like, still with Lucia here, like, because Lucia was this, like, she was a very, you would say, selfless young girl, who was known to bring food and help and supplies to refugees that were hiding during war times. People, refugees, strangers, aliens, who were not welcome, right? And therefore they were hiding. And if they came out, they could have been hurt or been, they could have been hurt, they could have been judged, they could have been killed. But she was going in there selflessly and without judgment to provide them food and necessities to survive in the tunnels where they were hiding. And she did make herself a candle crown like this, because then she could carry more with her than if she should hold a candle in one hand and carry the necessities in the other. With this one, she could move through the tunnels and have the light she needed, and she could carry more, right? She could carry more with her. Again, there is such a difference here, because this is a war person who is fighting his right forward. He's trying to conquer something, or he's trying to defend something. This one looks beyond the war. Like, she's not a warrior. Like that is not her main goal. Is to help others in need, right? To be kind and selfless. Where this one could be like, he is consumed with his own, you could say, either he wants to conquer something or he wants to defend something, but he's very concerned about his own life, or maybe, family or those he cares for here. This one is not really like she, like if she cared for her own life, she would stay at home, right? If she cared for her own well-being, she should stay at home and not walk into the tunnels. She is a symbol of like one who is following her own initiative here. And she becomes a messenger. That's why we remember her, right? Everyone who does something particular, where they follow their own inner drive, their own inner ambition, or their own inner, because fire is also the driving force that gets us up and out of the chair. If we feel something is unfair or unjust, or you just can't stand it anymore, so now you're gonna take a stand and you go somewhere, right? That is what the fire can also do. It is a bravery, a fierceness, a determination of thought, and it's what she does more than what she's saying. It's what she does. She has no weapons here. What she's doing is her fire drives her to do some kind of deed. And that deed becomes the example. That is the message, right? The deed is to help, you could say, instead of perhaps fight. But we all, to a certain point, grow up with or have roots of this. Like the third dimension, there are not many people on this earth that haven't experienced war or any kind of invasion, or like from another part of our, like earthlings have experienced a lot of this with each other. So whether you are from, like the Indians, the Indian territory, right? Or civilized, like the British. The British have during history conquered many islands and land across the globe. Invasion and, like power struggles. The drive to reign and own and dominate is and has, we have so much proof of that. And then in the midst of it, she shows up here, right? And what is she doing? Like she's not talking about what she's doing. She's doing something. Like she's not marketing her deeds. Like she's doing something that is just what, in her opinion, she's doing what is the right thing to do. People are in need, so I'm helping those in need. It is the right thing to do. Her drive here comes not from selfish power. Her drive comes from compassion and equality. Where this one can come more from a selfish, more this is a masculine perspective. This is a very feminine perspective, right? And it's like the completion between two very different energies here. So either there is some sense of union, or there is some kind of understanding, maybe within yourself, that it could be something within yourself that you have managed to have some kind of balance between understanding what you are fighting for, perhaps when and why you want to fight, because there's fire here as well. It's just how it's used. Like, how are you using this fire energy that you have? You can use it to fight and fight enemies off, or fight for your right, or fight to invade or own, or have power here. And that usually comes with hostilities and conflict and everything. She is normally not creating conflict. Well, if she is figured out. Like if those in power are figuring out what she's doing, she could be killed. But she is doing her thing anyway, like she is risking her life walking into these tunnels every night. She's doing this because she believes it's the right thing to do. You know? So there is a change of belief here, I feel like, from the root position where you may have grown up to be, more maybe defensive, on guard, primarily, protecting and serving those that are close to you. Maybe your family, maybe your nation, right? Maybe you are a nationalist. Maybe you were just defending your local town or your own family, your own children. Maybe you are not even doing that. Maybe this has to do only and exclusively about your own life. So you are fighting for the things you wanted. You are fighting for the things, but it's fighting. It's always fighting. And it requires a sword, a weapon. It requires also that you are on guard. You expect a fight. You expect it to be hostile. You expect it to be volatile. You expect it to be violent, harsh, tough. You expect there to be casualties. You expect yourself maybe to be wounded. You are expecting it. And because you expect it, you have to grow like that kind of, you could say, armor to be prepared to go out there. You need to have an armor here. You need to have an armor. You need to have a sword. Maybe you didn't quite have an armor. You were fighting without an armor. It could be a difficult fight here. A sense of you were fighting a fight that you were not prepared for. And the completion can also indicate that you may have gone through a process where you're saying, what was it exactly I was fighting for? Why was I exactly afraid? Why is it that I was always, on guard? This can talk about, a nervous system that is always somehow alert in some way, and it's looking, where are they? Where are the enemies? Where are the enemies? I am ready here, right? But I want to say a bit exposed or worn out, like a warrior that has lost his armor. He's worn out. He has been fighting for so long. He has barely no power left. But this has been what you have been told. This is how you have been raised. This is what you had to prepare for in life. But this seems like I'm done. Like I'm done with this fighting. I'm done with this idea that I'm supposed to be afraid. That I'm supposed to be afraid here. That I'm supposed to be on guard. Instead, I want to follow my inkling to be brave and do what I really feel I want to fight for. You could say, instead of using a lot of life force energy here on being prepared and alert, and expect fight and expect it to be volatile, expect it to be difficult, expect it to be. So instead of that, I'm done with that. I'm done with this idea that I have to be on guard, that I have to fight, that life is a fight, that life is a struggle. I'm done with that idea. I choose but this is in the crown position, so this is in the in the in your, you could say, in your conscious awareness, that I choose instead to be, I send a message by what I'm doing. I cross my arms, I turn my back to something that no longer is what I want to be part of. Instead, I put on this crown and I go towards what I feel is right for me. I'm using my energy now on something else. That's what I feel like she is doing here. Also a softer, like she's a teenage girl, right? She has no weapons. She knows nothing about war. What she does is she's looking out in the world. And she's looking at all those people that fight like this for power or money or status or something. And then she is asking herself, but what is this? Like, I don't want to do that, right? I want to make sure that what I am invested in, how I use my life force energy is on the things that I want, the things that I find right, the things that are right to me. I'm refusing, again, the way she stands here with her folded hands, I refuse to participate in some like hostility, right? I've refused to fight. I'm done fighting. It's not my fight, you know, it's not my fight. So even though I have roots, let's say that the roots here represent your parents. Like, even though I have roots, parents or grandparents and so on, like in the history, where, and many of us have, like ancestors who have been in World War II, World War I, they have been in other strifes, they have been hunted down, they have been, because they were Jewish or they were, I don't know, any kind of anything, right? Like this is one of the things that I find that humans are, like, we really are a troubled species, because we see enemies everywhere where we could have potential friends instead, right? It's like the tolerance for each other is so more present than the trust, or the non-tolerance is more present than the trust and tolerance is. But again, it also relates to the third dimension and the fifth dimension, where in the third dimension we have lack mentality, mistrust, non-tolerance. In the fifth dimensional energy you have trust, love, you have compassion, and you have embrace, and you have tolerance. So again, this shift is something like, you can come along, or you probably are staying in the third dimensional energy, but it will not be a pleasant one. Like it's going to have this. And someone here is done, I think, with fighting, like done with these stories here, right? Done with participating in these stories. So if we, when I say that, I mean that, you know, if this represents your family story, your bloodline, that you have a history line of people who have been like really struggling, Of course, every time you talk to them, like they will say something that represents it. Like they will argue a case that what you're doing is not a good choice, that you should do this instead, or this is more safe, or this is more reasonable, or this is a better investment. This is safer, right? And if you have roots like that, it's like this is where you come from. This is what you've learned. This is what you have listened to. Like that life is a struggle, life is hard work, we have to fight for everything we have, and blah, 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 all this. But this tells me that it's like, I don't really care about these old stories. I'm going for what I believe is right for me. And I'm turning my back to the things that goes against me, right? That goes against my deepest beliefs, or the completion kind of indicates that you really know who you are. I feel like you have somehow completed, or you have healed a wound or something, and you want to be solid in that. That now I'm not going backwards in time, right? I'm moving forward forward. I'm including future energy now into the storyline. So I'm not just repeating current and past, current and past, current and past. I'm including future energy here that actually goes somewhere else, that is choosing instead of fighting. I wanna be able to. Fighting also indicates that you stand in front of something that doesn't want your best. It has nothing good intentional in mind. It wants to fight you in some way. So it means that you are in environments that are where you are fighting with someone, or you are not agreeing with someone or something. And it's like you're done with that. You are wanting to be it's a helper mode. Like she is a helper mode here. When she walks into the tunnel, and those in there, of course they could be on guard, like until they realize who she is. They could be on guard. Oh, is this someone who wants to harm me, right? But as soon as they see that she's coming in with food and blankets or whatever is needed in there, they will open their arms to her and she can come in. Like they will open their arms because they need the help. This looks like someone who is fighting against something. And when you're fighting, it's like the doors are closed, right? You can have no agreement. There's only strife here. There's only conflict here. There are no opening doors. There is no willingness to let you in. Here, she's now choosing that I will go where people want my help, where they need my help perhaps, or they need me. They need people like me, or they need help. They need and I want to go there because there the doors open. As soon as they know why I'm there, as soon as they know that they can see that I bring this, they will open their arms. Where this feels a little bit like here they are closed, there is that the doors are closed. Why trying to fight something here that doesn't wanna, work with you, that doesn't wanna it doesn't see you as a friend, it sees you as an enemy. where here I could choose to use my life force energy here on like trying to work or be with people that are kinder, or they open their doors. Here I'm welcome. Here I'm liked. And I want to use my energy on that instead of using it with those that seem to work against me, or they don't understand my intentions. They don't like them, or they are not agreeing with them. But that could be your root. So let's say you have had a lot of inner family disputes or disagreements, and you're kind of just done with that, right? I want to use my energy with people that are, first of all, you are ruled by Venus, you are feminine, right? So first of all, I don't want to be masculine. I don't want to I don't like the idea of armoring myself and fight for every little detail in my life. I want to be feminine, right? I want to be her here. My fire should be feminine instead. I want to be feminine. I don't want to be like this. I'm done with all these old stories here. I'm done with that kind of life. I'm saying no to it. And I feel like this is some of the storm warning that I feel is coming. It's like the feminine signs, the feminine energies are stopping. Like they are going to stop their involvement in the masculine realm. Like they will have a harder time being very masculine and upholding masculine energy. I believe all feminines to a certain point have built an armor, and to be in the third dimensional energy, but it's not who we are. Like I'm a Cancer sun, I'm definitely feminine, also feminine water sign, but I grew an armor. I learned to become masculine and participate in a masculine society and matrix that is built by men for men. And I learned how to be part of that, but I never liked it. Like it was never right for me. So what I feel like, it's something like we are supposed to awaken something or grow something that looks like it's almost distinct. And I think it's the feminine energy. Like we have to take it back or own it again, or it's in us. It's still part of our DNA, but we have to like show it. But to show it means that we have to de-armor ourselves, actually show what we are. And this can come across as being weaker, slower, more passive, less active, less masculine, less taking action, more peaceful, seeking calm, seeking peace more than the other. And to do that means that the other, so the masculine part of our existence, is going to see it. They are going to see now that what they have been dealing with was not exactly what they expected. They are going to change. I think this is the storm that comes. It's like there's a de-armoring, that the feminines are, as I said, listen to the slow, quieter, lower tune of Earth. Listen to it because it's calming us down. It's a slower, more feminine. It is a kind. It is a healing energy. it flows, quietly flows. It's warm. And we all need that to a certain extent, especially the feminines. Like, we have been starving here. It's very masculine. It's very difficult to thrive here as a feminine, as a true feminine. Like, really choosing your energy, and I'm still just trying to get some of this back. But you know, it's an energy that has been absent for a long time. Like, the real feminine energy has been absent for a long time. At least for those I'm reading for, it has been in my life. So it's my own healing journey to get some of this back, or to awaken it inside myself again. And for those I may be reading for, it could be the same, right? I think that feminine energy has almost been distinct, like true feminine energy that really embraces themselves and shines brightly as feminine energy with no excuse or no fears or anything. Like, I think it's very rare to find here. Because if you actually did, there would be many masculine energies that would like to conquer it, to own it, and to control it. But that's what I feel like, and I think this is one of, like, some of the storm that is coming, that there is it's inevitably that it's going to come. It like, we can't, like, Earth cannot change without something like, it cannot stay stagnant and change at the same time. Like, so you can go along with it and accept the losses, you could say, because you will be asked to give up something. Like, if you're on a spiritual journey and this resonates with you in some way, you will be asked to give up something. And it can be a difficult thing to give up, because like life, like feminine life, has depended on some of these weapons. Like, we wouldn't have survived without them. So now it's like we are asked to come along, have faith in me, come along, put the weapons down, relax, trust, and everything. And that can be, like, for someone who comes from a always being ready to fight for your life almost kind of energy, that is very difficult. So you are definitely being asked to, maybe you feel it like, maybe you feel like something should be completed, that you should give up something, and go through this portal, trust this portal, and this could be exactly what you're facing. That these two are, like, both of them are, you know, it's a dilemma perhaps here, to get the completion done. But I feel like you are on the brink of this. You know that the completion is there. Like, I can't be in hostile environments. It's not right for me. I'm leaving. I have to leave. I have to leave. I can't be in hostile environments. I wanna be where my initiative is appreciated. I wanna be where there are open arms. I wanna, Taurus is known to be, you can be page of Earth, of course, but you can also be the Hierophant. The Hierophant can be a healer. So I want to heal where I can heal, right? I don't want to heal something that like has their arms up and doesn't want my help, right? And that can also be what this talks about. I don't want to break indoors here or try to conquer something by all means, or try to like knock down walls if what I'm standing in front of keeps building them up again. Like they keep building it up again. Because then it asks me to become violent, right? It asks me to become violent, and I don't want to. You're Venus, right? You are love energy. It goes against, I believe, like some inner core beliefs that trying to fight others with weapons is actually not your core, I think. But we have learned to, right? We have learned to. Like it's very difficult to not like to be ultra feminine in this world, and stay true to that. Like that, I guess you would be hurting a lot actually if you have stuck or if you stayed in that feminine energy. It's difficult in this world. But it seems like someone have had it. I feel like they're done with this. I'm not fighting you. Like if you don't want my help, or if you don't want my attention, or if you are not listening to me, and what I know about this world, I'm done with that. I'm using my energy on something else where I am appreciated, right? So that this can be what this is about. So I have 9 of Fire as a clarifier for the completion card here. 9 of Fire can talk about well, there's something about the way that the stars kind of one bigger star and then smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. So there's something about like there could be a feeling of retirement here, like not having the, like not wanting to engage in something, that the energy, like the energy is getting lower and lower and lower here. That there is less energy to give, or there is less energy to fight with. 9 of Wands, it is a very difficult energy. It's an energy where you feel like you have to be on guard all the time. You you have to be on guard, bruised from earlier experiences, bruised from earlier fights, and being a bit exhausted, tired. I'm done with all this fighting. I don't want to fight. I don't want to be part of the drama. So I'm retiring. I'm retiring myself from drama, perhaps, or my energy. I want to use my energy on something else. I want it to be welcomed. I want it to be aligned with me. I want it to be more feminine, perhaps. So the pace of it, the level of it has to be more in alignment with who I actually am. I'm dimming my effort also. I feel like something like there's also something about, like you can come in with a raw, or you can come in with a request or a question, right? So there's also a way of how do we approach others, or how are we somehow in connection with others. If we are expecting fight, we will have fight, right? So there is something about maybe a calmer, slower approach to something, not expecting things to evolve quickly, not expecting things to change quickly. Allow it to just unfold calmly. Listen to the quieter tone of like friendliness is usually not a high-pitched tone, and it comes in with more, like a lower voice, a more respectful way of approaching, where a warrior comes in like an invasive power, right? So there's something about I'm done with being aggressive. I'm done with being, I need or I want a different approach, or I'm choosing a different approach here. I dim my effort, or I slow it down. It becomes smaller or more like the fire here. Again, fire can be like a burning campfire, or it can be a match, right? The match doesn't burn as much as a big campfire or a dragon's breath, right? A dragon's breath here can be like, for other people, it's highly aggressive and threatening, where a tiny match is not the same. You can come in with little candlelight here, and it's just a pleasant warmth, like this candlelight. But if this was a burning like house fire, I would probably run out, right? So there's something about the approach here, of how to approach something. Dimming the effort can be, again, something like, I'm not wasting my energy on something that doesn't want my help, perhaps, or is not, somehow has chosen to be on guard with me. I don't want that. And I don't want me to be on guard either. I choose to put my energy somewhere else. Somewhere where I find that it is appropriate. That I invest in something else here, and because I do that, it's a message, right? Because I invest let's say, I invest my energy in a friend as opposed to my husband, it's a message. My friend has opening arms and wants me to come in. Where if I am investing in my husband, it could seem like we always disagree and it's so difficult. So I'm done with this. I'm done with this idea of all the hostility, right? I'm just done. I don't want it. I may feel like my energy goes down. This can also talk about joy, like in life, like your life force. If your life force is dimmed, you can become more sad, right? You can become more unhappy. And because of that, I'd rather go and invest somewhere where I'm actually feeling embraced, where I actually feel that what I'm saying or what I'm offering or what I am like the personality I am, that it is understood and it is embraced and it's liked, right? I'd rather invest in my work perhaps than I want with my family, because it always gets into conflict here. It always gets into, and because of that, I can't invest my time anymore. I'm losing my life force here. So I'm done. Even though it can be difficult. I think for Taurus it's very difficult energy to leave family bonds and maybe children and something. Like it's difficult because it's so embedded in your energy to keep the seed growing and maintain and protect and serve, and all this. It's very intertwined in Taurus energy. So walking away is very difficult, I think. But it's to maintain your fire here. It's to maintain your fire. Otherwise, because you're losing it here, right? And that is maybe the reason why you are done. Like you're done with this, like losing your energy. You're done with being invested in something that drags your energy out of you. That is hostile, that's difficult, and it's because it dims your energy. You find yourself in a situation where you are losing like life force here. So you have to become a messenger. So either you become, like you can spit fire here, boundaries, and spit fire and say no, or you're simply investing. You invest in other stuff because it's there. The arms are open. There you are heard. There you are listened to. There you are embraced. There you are liked, and it's easier and it's welcomed, right? You are welcome there. Can we have a card on the hostilities here? Okay, so I get 10 of Pentacles reversed here. 10 of Pentacles is like the happy ever after. This is also about money. You see, of course, you can see that here, treasure box, being successful. Being successful, having maybe money enough, feeling that you have enough, that you are enough, that you have enough, that you can thrive and be successful in this life. But reversed, it feels like that's the hostility, right? The hostility is this feeling that having this good life, having this successful life is very difficult for you, right? Or it has been. Or again, coming from roots where there has been a lack mentality, lack of money, lack of security, safety, home, food, feeling homeless perhaps. 10 of Pentacles is the happy ever after. This is where you have everything you want. Like you are secured for all life, and you are even your children and children's children and so on would be secured for life. There's sunshine here, right? There is you can have everything you want. You can buy and build and everything you want here. But this, like the root tells me that, it was probably not like that. It was probably not that fun. It was probably not like like to just to live here and be here has been difficult. Difficult to maintain a job, perhaps difficult to feel that you have enough, that you are enough and you have enough to be a success, to thrive and have a good life here. It's like the roots you come from. This is, like a tree that stands, but with very unsolid roots and root supply. Like the root supply is unsolid or unreliable, or some of the roots are cut, there's no distribution, there's no free flow. So life could have, like if you were a tree here, it would have been like a tree that had very difficult time of sustaining itself and keeping itself alive, because the root supply is low, right? But that could also be the feeling why you want to be this one, because you know what it feels like, right? You know what it feels like to barely get along. You know what it feels like to not have enough. So that could be the reason why you become this one, or you rather want to become this one, right? Because you know what it feels like. You know what it feels like not to have enough. You know what it feels like to be, cut off from certain supply systems. You know what it feels like to be the aliens or the strangers or the refugees in the sewer. And you know how much help it is that someone actually cares and comes with something. So maybe that's why you choose to become this one. But the completion can tell us something about that maybe you see the connection now very clearly. It can also be that you realize that both of them are not good. That both of them are not good, that you see a direct result from this way of acting now, that it relates to what you have been missing. So you became that one. But that is also maybe a problem, right? Because I have this dimmed energy thing, or this dimmed life force, that it's maybe both of them are not good. You're thinking about this. It's in the crown position. So it's in your mind. It's something you think about. It's something that's in your awareness. And I have this feeling on like the completion is something like it's done. Like I can't seem to. I don't want to relate to those roots, but maybe you also don't want to relate to being the one that offers something. Again, the Nine of Fire suggests that that you had something, and then there's less of something here. That it burns out, that it's eventually there's nothing left here. The Nine of Fire is before the Ten of Fire. The Ten of Fire is like a burnout. Then you have nothing. It's like it's done. So this state is like this. It's like a protective state where you're saying to yourself, I can't keep doing this. I can't keep doing something. Because when I do that, I can just see how my life force dims. Like I myself am at risk. I myself am at risk. One card on the Messenger of Fire here. Because again, she's a beautiful energy. It's just, So I have journey here, and this makes sense because this is actually what she did. She went out alone in the dark, with no weapons, and she went into the sewers with her things, right? Her stuff, her things, food, whatever she had, she could spare, and she there could be a journey here. The journey could also suggest a travel, that you would rather maybe travel towards something here where you do feel embraced, where you do share, that there's maybe mutual interest, fire interest, mutual, mutual hobbies, mutual, as I said, there's open arms here. Like you would rather travel to something here or go towards something where you feel embraced. We could even talk about that because she's standing here a bit like she's turning her back and crossed arms, that she's refusing to go. She's refusing to come. She's refusing to ride somewhere. Because it dims her energy if she should do so. She'd rather go where she wants to go. She'd rather go where she wants to. Like her journey should be of her own choosing. She is done with this, done with activities that dims her light, you could say. She'd rather have journeys where, or new life choices that is of her doing. And because she chooses something else here, that in itself is a message. Like if you have two people in the home, a man and a wife, a husband and a wife, if they choose each other, it's because both of them want to, hopefully. If one chooses to walk away, it's because something doesn't feel nice here. If someone, chooses to go out with their girlfriends, or they always choose a friend, or they choose a hobby over here, or they choose to engage somewhere else, it's because the arms are more open here, as opposed to being here. So every time someone chooses to go out somewhere, invest in gymnastics instead of, at least if it becomes a lot, like if they all, like every day they choose gymnastics, every day they go to the barn and invest like 7-8 hours with their horse, right? Or every day they choose to visit their parents instead of being at home with you. Or like every time something like that happens, it's because of the hostility. It's because of the feeling of not being good enough, or not bringing enough to the table, or not providing enough, or not being needed, perhaps even. Like what I have to bring to the table is, it's unwanted or not needed, or it seems like it has no value. Like it seems like it has no value. That the one I stand in front of, they just keep their walls up. It's unwanted in some way. So I'd rather, it's on my mind here to go somewhere else, right? to go somewhere else where it is wanted, where it is needed, where it is beautiful, where it's liked, and where people open their arms towards it. The journey here, again, I feel like with the Gaia invitation and everything, yeah, it's a journey. To trust that then maybe like this is a journey of fire, like instead of that it becomes less and less and less here, you could maybe build it up again here. But it means that you are on your own journey here. That you are on your own journey to figure out what actually lightens my load, or what actually feels like an embrace. Where do I feel like there is a warm embrace? Where do I feel like there is where like the environment opens their arms to me, right? I'd rather go where I'm needed, I feel like, yeah. I'd rather go where I'm needed. Or where there is a warm embrace, or maybe where I can earn money. Like, why be invested in something where I can't, where it seems like it's so difficult and there's always so much conflict? I want something to be easier here. I want it to, again, she's walking on a bridge over something. Like maybe she would like a bridge that could lift her up, and it would be an easier travel, an easier journey, it's easier, it's a more welcomed, airy, lighter feeling. Instead of this like dimming down, maybe even your own light, like we can put our light under a what is a bushel or something, right? But I feel like completion, like I'm done putting my own light under a bushel. I will go where I want to go. I will go where I'm embraced. I will go where I'm liked. What I bring is what people want. I'm done with these hostilities, or the feeling that there is an armor or there is a wall that I have to fight down. That if what I have or what I am is not wanted, I'm not going there. Like, I don't want to go there. And there's someone here kind of getting to this point where I have invested enough. We have been married for 13 years, right? And I have invested a lot and enough. But it seems like I'm unwanted here. It seems like what I bring is not what people want. It seems like they don't care. It seems like I'm not embraced. It seems like it's a fight. I have come to the end. I have almost not any more energy left. I have to go here, right? I have to stop. So the driver for the completion card is the spiral here. The spiral is a feeling of being, it's a bit like a spiral in water. That if you get caught by it, it's like you have no other way but actually to just follow it. Like the Bermuda Triangle, right? That it's such a force that just you have to spiral with it. It's difficult to, again, swim against the stream. So you may have been in a spiral here. It's a driver card, so this has been present before this. The spiral can tell us being in a like being caught in something where, well, of course you can have a good spiral also, but for some reason I feel like with the hostility card, this may not have been a feeling of a nice spiral. I think it was maybe more quite a spiral of problems, or like that your life has been turned around in some way. From galaxies in the sky to diminutive shells at the beach, the spiral is found extensively in the natural world. Its shape, in the form of a coiled serpent, has been used since ancient time as a tool for growth and transformation. The spiral is a guide for entering deep into one's consciousness and the unknown, and then extending far out into the heavens. It is crucial to surrender to this journey until the exhausted paradigm dissolves in the depth of the psyche and its energy is released to give birth to a new reality. So this is the driver, right? So this could have been what you have been going through, like a really tough journey, perhaps, where you had to like exhaust a paradigm, you could say. And you also had to surrender to this journey, like, and this is where our ego sometimes fights it, right? But there is an exhausted paradigm that needs to be dissolved in the depth of the psyche, and its energy is released to give birth to a new reality. To renew yourself, you must shed your own skin. You have already done this, so do not keep scrapping away at the old, but welcome the soft new skin that is starting to grow. Break the habit of working on your faults all the time and let nature take its course. Know that a new skin feels vulnerable and scary at times. Trust the medicine of the spiral as it guides your journey to renewal. So, and I feel like you have, this is before, right? So this is the driver that has been happening in your life before you have this. So I feel like completion tells us something about that you have actually exhausted this paradigm. You have seen it, understood it, you know what it's about, and the soft new underbelly skin is there, but you know you have to trust it, and this new journey that you are on, where you follow your own inclinations, or you go towards places and people that actually would open their arms to you, is new, perhaps, especially if you come from homes where there has been a lot of fighting and a lot of unworthiness or lack of confidence and lack of like everything you could bring to the table felt like it was useless in some way, or perhaps some very, like, a lot of money problems here, or sense of instability. Okay, for the hostilities here, I get strategy. Interesting. Strategy as a driver here. So strategy can tell me something about that the environment you have been in, that there has been strategists here. Strategists that purposefully have designed to keep certain certain energies flowing here. Like you have been up against a strategist here, or you have been in an environment with strong strategies that, or principles, or fixed energy here. A strategy is sometimes used in war, right? That in order for someone to be victorious in some kind of battle, they need a strategy and stick to it, no matter what. So you could have been dealing with a strategist here. They had a certain end goal, and you have been fighting with something here. Or that the strategy you employed did not bring you where you wanted to go. We could even say that the strategy of the spiral here is to exhaust a certain paradigm. So this could be a soul thing, that your soul started to bring forth new energy here for you to exhaust certain old wounds or paradigms, and that has brought you into a spiraling feeling or whirlwind of tumultuous feelings that may have been quite exhausting, I want to say here. Okay, the messenger of fire. Let's have a look at her. Good tarot. What do we have at the bottom here? Yeah, Five of Earth. The Five of Earth is a card of Five of Pentacles, is a card of not having enough. Like being, this can talk about being left on the street, being homeless, not feeling you have a home, not feeling that you are welcomed in the home, or again, you may have been up against a strategist, and there has been hostilities here, that you can't rely on home, that you don't have much. Like this is the driver where you didn't have much. So this can be both money, it can be like anything. Food, shelter, the feeling of belonging somewhere, the feeling of, that could be a big feeling of being alienated, like an outcast, unworthy, useless feeling. And from that standpoint, again, as I said, you could try to go back and knock on the doors, but if the doors are closed, you would probably not get in. And every time you knock on the door, you don't get in, you get more and more of this feeling. Being the outcast, unwanted, unneeded, unloved, unappreciated, thrown out, being bad, ugly, wrong, in some way. Or you can turn around from this position, you can turn around on a journey on your own, choosing the things and the places where you feel you will be welcomed, right? So from this standpoint, where you may have been knocking on doors to get in or be accepted in some way here, but if you were dealing with a strategist, this could be like a mind, like an intelligent mind here, that chose to keep you in some kind of conflict with them. And this could have been quite a strategic move to keep you occupied in some way. So instead of trying to knock in those doors, and the more you did, the more you felt like this, thrown out, and it dimmed your life force, right? You became, of course, sad and more sad and more unhappy. You could see how being, it's like trying to have access to some kind of place, but the more you try, the more you fail, and it gives you this feeling every time. So now you are on a journey on your own here, and you're trying to figure out, where can I belong, with soft new underbelly skin, a bit vulnerable, but I am on this new journey. I'm done with this, like bowing or trying to knock some doors. I'm done with also the feeling of being this outcast. I don't want to be this outcast, right? Someone here has judged you to be an outcast, but what if they were wrong? Like, what if you found other people here who do like you, right? What if you decided to go on this journey and see if you can find other people who would actually appreciate you? Like, it's this state of being that is now fostering like this messenger of fire here. It's supposed to awaken your inner fire. Your inner fire to walk away, your inner fire to say I'm done, your inner fire to say, well, if this is what you are offering me, or if this is your strategy towards me, if this is the choice you are, if this is how you look at me, well, then I become my own messenger of fire. I turn my back, I cross my arms, and I go towards what I want to go towards, right? I walk away. Instead of keep knocking, that keeps me staying like this. I choose to turn around and walk away. Because my life force energy is important to me and I don't want it to be wasted. I have done enough of this. I have stayed for way too long. I'm done with that. Can I have a card on the completion card here, please, for Taurus? So I get, this is actually quite shaman-like. I get the white buffalo calf woman here. White buffalo calf woman. She is the prophetess of the sacred way. My heart is a compass. The path of love is true abundance. So this is someone who says here that my heart is a compass, and I have this feeling of like these directions here. Like maybe you are not quite sure where to go. You just know that what you come from you can't keep up. So your compass here is what guides you forward. That there has to be some kind of love here. The path of love is true abundance. So this is now your guide. That is the journey you are on here. Towards, again, as I said, doors that open. Doors that want to embrace you, right? Doors that are seeing you as a valuable member of the community, or friendships where they do have open arms. That this is what guides you now, right? Instead of conflict, like why should I go into conflict if I could go into a more calmer or a more embracing energy. My heart guides me, right? Your Venus heart guides you towards, you just have to trust it. And trust also that if this is about your own femininity, if this is about your own inner beliefs that love matters, and you want something kinder, something that can embrace even the one that is the outsider, because that's exactly what Lucia does. Lucia embraces those that are in the tunnel hiding. She embraces the homeless. She embraces those who and one of the reasons is because she may have felt so herself, right? That can be why she's doing the things she's doing. That she's offering something because she knows what it means to be in the sewer. She knows what it means to be on the street. She knows what it means to be like an outcast, or not chosen, or poor, not having much. Yeah, that's what I feel like. The completion tells me that you have exhausted a paradigm of non-love. I feel like of being engaging in something that is not kind, right? Where it's not love based, like it's ego based, or it's based on principles or rules or structures or virtues that just in your case or from your point of view is not loving. It's not kind. It's maybe aggressive here and abusive, even in the sense that your self-confidence about like what you are worth here, like the 10 of Pentacles upright is worth a lot. It has value, but it's physical value. It's money related or materialistic. In this case, it feels like not being able to bring something to the table here that has been requested. And it can leave you with low self-esteem. It can leave you with the sense of always needing to fight. Every day is a fight, right? To get the money or to get these things, the responsibilities that come with this. It could even be the feeling that your treasure box here has been opened and rats have come in and taken them, right? Like there has been an invasion of your life source, you could say, here. That is your treasure box, that there has been an invasion, like theft or something strategic here. Like this could be like tax systems, or like strategic is to me, it represents structure. It represents something that has like an iron fist structure. There are no emotions here. That this is a mind that is strategic. It's very judgmental. Like either you fit the bill or you don't. Either you bring in the you could say, like either you meet the required deadline or you don't. It's very in or out. Like either you bring this to the table or you don't. Like a judgmental mind, a very strategic voice. A demanding voice, perhaps, here. or choice, right? So a strategic mind. This is a driver. So this is a driver before this. So you may have been in a, like, needing to become very strategic here about what you wanted in life. This can be you as well. Like, maybe you had to, like, push aside all emotional attachments, have to become very strategic, because it has to do with survival here. Your own survival, your own life force energy. Maybe you had to become very strategic about your own life force energy. Maybe you had to decide to fight here for your own right, or rebel or something. Or you were in a gameplay with something strategic here, as I said. An opponent that were very, very strategic, non-emotional, like, this can come across as quite almost non-human. It's a closed off deal. There are no renegotiations. The spiral here can be a bit like that, like you are in some kind of web, you could say, where that is just spiraling and doing something, and it seems like it's like a closed off deal, like it's non-negotiable. When you're in it, it's like you're just forced through the spiral here, whether you want it or not. Like, it's a closed off deal. And it definitely leaves you feeling very confused and torn and even broken here. But it's like this position is like a blank slate. Like when you get out and you feel like this, you feel like, I've lost everything. Like, everything is gone. I lost my health, my job, my money, my marriage, perhaps. Even my children left me. It's like this blank slate where, like, now there's nothing else to lose. Like, everything is already gone. So from this position, I now continue forward. It's like everything has been stripped away. I barely have anything left. And it also means your ego, your pride, your, all small pities, all small things that you would maybe normally have not accepted in your life, like, they are all there. Like, they are all there. They are all over the place. This is like being stripped naked, there's nothing. You even see yourself being, like, feeling you need to humiliate yourself by living on the street. You've seen yourself lose everything. You've seen yourself and from that position of being so humiliated or so humbled, so torn, so you have the ability to build again, right? You have the ability to move forward with your few belongings and then figure out, where can I go, right? Where can I Like I'm not wasting my energy here on something that is not opening its arms towards me. I'm not wasting my time on and my energy on the fights. My heart is my compass. Can I get a card on the messenger of fire here? Yeah, it says here adjustment, looking back and moving forward, right? And that's actually what I feel like she's doing. It's like, you know, she has crossed her arms here. She's looking back. And then she's saying, no, I'm not going there. I am moving forward now. I'm adjusting my pace. I'm adjusting my style. I'm moving forward. I look back. I remember this. I remember this feeling, how it made me feel to keep knocking on certain doors here. I'm moving forward. There's no kindness here. I'm moving forward, and my heart is my compass. So also self-care here, choosing yourself over the hostilities or the strategic mind. I get this feeling of like strategic mind, that what you have been dealing with has been strategically keeping you in some kind of distress, and that is not fair at all. It has nothing to do with love, and I think you're done with this, right? My heart is my compass now. If I feel distress or hostilities or something with the things in front of me, it's not for me, right? I would walk away, adjust and walk away. Yeah. Like your heart is your best voice here, so maybe you have to sometimes get slow down, listen inward, connect with the heart, the calmness, the slower beat, the warmer embrace, and trust that. If you can feel that around other people, if they can't allow you to relax, if they can't allow you to be who you are, it's not right for you. Life shouldn't be like that, right? It shouldn't be like that. Can I have an advice, please, on for Taurus here? So I get this card, Crystal Keys, as an advice card here. Interesting. Do you remember I said that when I look at the circle here, it represents all the chakras, but there is a sense of mist or clouds or something over the blue area, and look at how blue this is. That this is very blue, right? So an advice could be something about, I feel like there's something about communication and trusting your intuition, trusting your heart guidance, your internal communication. Crystal keys. It seems like, well, it feels like there could be something. Well, maybe you like crystals, right? And you have a lot of them perhaps already. Crystal keys keys suggest to me always that there is something to be hidden, or something not be hidden, something to be found that could have been hidden from you, right? Hidden wisdom codes, potent information, Lemuria seed crystals, seeing your triggers as a gift, awareness of drama creating patterns, healing the earth by looking at your inner environment, healing through awareness. So an advice here is that the awareness, the things that you've learned from this experience, that this is healing. And it's healing for you, but it could also be healing for others. That the wisdom that you have figured out, it's potent information. The triggers that you may have, for instance, in my case, I have a warning system that comes up if I stand in front of something that is definitely very hostile, and I shake, like my body comes up and shakes like this. If I stand in front of something that is either I have to give a certain message or I have to put up a strong boundary, and the trigger comes up because normally I did not do that. Normally I did not put up the boundary. Normally I did not give the message. I kept it in to save myself, to keep myself safe. I ignored to put out the boundary. I ignored not saying it, or not saying no. But when I do, like, it comes up and shakes like that. But just, I don't know what it could be for you. But it could be something about recognizing if your body suddenly feels off. If you get a sudden chill over your body, it feels cold, or like me, shaking, or you feel a tight throat or something, that you stand in front of something that could have been quite difficult to handle, and you could use to do what you normally did, or you can choose to walk away or do differently. Lemurian crystal quartz are special pieces of clear quartz with indented ridges running across them. They are known as seed crystals because they are said to have been found individually, buried in sand and earth, rather than attached to a large cluster, the way most crystals are. Aware of their oncoming destruction, the Lemurians imbued information about how to avoid a similar catastrophe on crystals and buried them. The ridges on the crystals are believed to be Lemurian inscriptions. These crystals are reappearing now as this knowledge is again relevant. This card is about deciphering wisdom codes. We may wonder how to access information regarding our spiritual growth as we navigate our everyday reality. This wisdom comes through inner paradoxes when we are truly present, awed, in creative flow, or in state of surrender. It may come as riddles and is in the most unlikely places. Zen Buddhism taps into this using Kohn's paradoxical statements. the mind cannot fathom to bypass traditional understanding and allow spiritual epiphany and a deeper knowledge of the soul to surface. So key wisdom codes can come to us when we are triggered. They are accessible in those moments when everything becomes more emotional, dramatic, or painful than it needs to be. Here, when light shines on your shadow, we are graced with significant insight into places we can grow and evolve from, although it might take courage and a healthy dose of self-awareness to embrace the wisdom of those moments. It's amazing how much energy, freedom, and expansion comes as a result of deciphering these bubbles of information, tailored especially for us. Sometimes insight is so perfectly constructed within a scenario that it gets right into our most tender spots for the perfect healing. I found myself lingering especially about the fact that it says that seed crystals are special and known because they are said to have been found individually buried in sand and earth rather than attached to a large cluster. Like the large cluster, you would say, would indicate that the cluster parts, as we see them here, it's like they have all grown from the same place, the same original crystal. So it's like they come from the same place. But when they have been found individually, it's like they have broken off from the original cluster and is buried, or was found and was buried in sand and earth individually. So this can also tell me something about your energy, right? That, yeah, you incarnated here, but maybe individually, right? You were not, even though you're part of a family group, of course, it may not have been your roots here are not like you, right? And some of the crystals were cut off and buried individually because they hold very special information. Before Lemuria was destroyed, Lemurians already knew it. They were aware of the destruction coming. Aware of their oncoming destruction, the Lemurians imbued information about how to avoid a similar catastrophe on crystals, and they buried them. And these crystals are seemingly coming more, reappearing more. And I think it's quite the same thing. It's like some information is coming forward. When Lemuria was buried or destroyed, but it could also come forward because some of it is returning. Wanting to reactivate certain heart energies here. That for some reason we have buried them, or we have, armored our hearts. Now it's possibly time to maybe reawaken some of these energies. Or they come forward when we know that we are under threat here. Like possible destruction is there, and therefore they are reappearing, it's triggering us, and we are learning more about like how to avoid potential disaster. So that is the advice. Take what you can from this situation, what you've learned. Trust your heart. Know that that you could be one of these lonely crystals that were buried by themselves, that you hold some individual knowledge, and you can pass on this knowledge to others out there who may be like you on the same kind of journey here. This is what I have. Taurus, I hope this helps somehow. Take care of yourself, everybody out there, during these times. As always, I send you my very best love and light to you all. Bye bye.